Hi everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.wordpress.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute Valentine's card. I made these for my little friends that I send all these cards out to. There's about 12 of them. I still have 2 left to make, so I figured I would show you guys how to make one. So this is a gatefold card, so it kind of has like a sneak peek here. And what we did is we used the little envelope die cut, and this is from the Love Notes framelit set. It coordinates with this little Sealed with Love stamp set. This is in the Occasions catalog. There's a whole Valentine suite. Let me put that on the side for a second. And this is it. So I used little strips of the Sending Love Designer Series paper stack. And we are going to use the Happy Valentine's Day and then the Love Note. We're going to use those 2 stamps. And then we're going to use the little envelope and the little hearts to make our little project today. So this is right now in the Occasions catalog. And this is brand new. It started January the 3rd. And if you buy the framelits and the stamp set together, you get 10% off. Plus, this is super cute. You could use this for a lot of other things. You could even use this for some weddings coming up if you want to. And if you don't have a copy of this, shoot me an email. I'll get you one right out. So to start, let me move this out of the way. I made a whole bunch of different ones, though, with all the different Designer Series paper. However, I saved my favorite paper to make with you guys because it's the paper I think is the cutest. But to start, we're going to go ahead and cut a piece of cardstock in half. So this is a full sheet, 8.5 by 11. We're going to cut it at 5.5. Okay, put this on the side. And then we're going to trim off a 1/2 inch. So instead of being 8.5, we're going to make this 8. Okay. Oops. And then we're going to go ahead and score. And we're going to score this at 2 3/4. And I'm doing that right. 2 3. Nope, I'm wrong. It's not 2 3/4. I'm sorry. It's 1 3/4. I apologize. 1 3/4. I'll put the correct measurements on the video. And 1 3/4. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this in. So it gives you your little peekaboo right there. Okay. I do have a piece of cardstock already cut out for the inside. This measures 4 by 5 1/4, so that's going to fit inside perfectly. That way we can stamp our sentiment. Now the other thing we still need is we need some white paper and we need our Designer Series paper. So we're going to cut 2 strips of white and 2 strips of Designer Series paper, okay? So what they're going to do is we're going to measure first. We're going to do 5. We're just going to cut this in half for now. Oops, that's scoring, not cutting. So this is going to measure 5 by 8.5. And what we want to do is we want to trim a piece. And I left it have a little bit of a layer because I didn't want it to have too big of a gap because I thought you would cut out on some of the paper. So our first measurement here was 1 3/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, so that would be 1 6/8. So we're going to go to 1 5/8. Trim, same thing again, one more, 1 5/8. Trim. Okay, put this on the side, and then we're going to just trim this down. So this would be 5.5, and what we're going to have it be instead is about 5 3/8. Oh, trimmer's not liking me today. I must need a new blade. 5 3/8. Okay, so we have those 2, and these are going to layer right on top here, just like so. Now we're going to get our Designer Series paper, and this again is the one that I said I saved the best for you because this is my favorite out of this stack. So I had the heart, like a polka dot heart left, and that has the little heart on the inside. It's kind of a little floral thing. But this is my absolute favorite one. This side is cute, don't get me wrong, with the scallops, but I love this. These little postage notes, they are absolutely so adorable to me. Now the only thing you do want to make sure, since we're making our card, is going to be a portrait or landscape, sorry, style card. You want this to match. You don't want to trim this up and then you can't use it. So we do want to make sure that our length is going to be, we went with 5 3/8, so we'll go with 5 2/8, okay? So we're going to cut 5 2/8. So we're going to go ahead and trim it this way first instead so we don't waste paper. So we're going to go with 1 1/2, 1 1/2. Okay, so we still have this. So technically you could make 2 cards out of 1 sheet of this because you could use this and then you could use the other side if you'd like. And then we're going to go ahead and trim off. So we were at 4, we'll go with 5 1/4. And again, I will put all the measurements for all of this on the blog. 5 1/4, and I will try to put them on the screen as well. So that's it. Now all we have to do is layer all of our pieces together. Okay, we're going to do a couple more things with cutting. And let me move this all out of the way. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and we will go ahead and adhere these together. So we're going to take our 2 Whisper White panels and our 2 Designer Series paper panels, and we're going to just put adhesive straight down. Okay, and I'm just going to line these up. They're going to have just a very narrow margin or border around them. So if you do like a bigger border, you could just trim your Designer Series paper just a hair smaller, I'm sorry, not a quarter, 1/16 of an inch smaller. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere these to the front panels. And I'm using fast fuse. You could use snail. I'm using snail. You could use fast fuse if you'd like. You could use liquid glue, tear and tape, your choice. You do want to make sure that you put these in the proper position though, because I did one earlier that I had to disassemble because I had everything facing the opposite direction. Party foul. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put our white panel inside. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to ink up our love note and we're going to ink up our Happy Valentine's Day. So we're going to be using Real Red. All right. So this one, I think, honestly, the love note portion is more important because you kind of want it to be centered in between these, but you want it a little bit off to the side because we're going to put a circle here. So we're going to go ahead and ink up. Just test that. Yep. Okay, and we're just going to put that in the middle. All right, and I didn't attach it just in case I goofed so I could fix it. And then we're going to stamp our Happy Valentine's Day. So this is going to have a circle over here covering it, kind of holding this closed. So I figure if I got in this direction here, the circle is going to cover up the day so you really won't see it. Okay, so those are the only 2 things we're going to stamp for now. You can certainly add some other embellishments. We're going to keep this out though because we're going to use one more thing. All right, so now what we're going to do, and this is a personal preference. So we're going to be using the 2-inch circle punch to punch out essentially one of these. We're going to be punching out a piece of silver foil paper. Let me get mine out. I have to trim away my pieces. Apologies. So we're going to punch out a silver foil circle with the 2-inch circle punch. And then, depending on what you have handy, right now I have the 1 3/4 inch circle punch, so I'm going to use that. But you can also use the layering circles. That will work perfectly well. And we're going to punch out a red circle from the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. Or you could use your layering circles, your choice. We're going to also want to keep this handy because we're going to do a couple things really quickly with the Big Shot. Let me slip this. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this together. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this down on the inside of our card. And before you press it, before you press down, just kind of lay it there lightly and close your card and make sure you can still see it and it's nice and even. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so now we're going to take and put some fast fuse because it sticks a little better just on the very top portion of our circle. Okay, because we only want it to stay partially closed. We don't want to close the whole thing. So we'll just put that right on the top and see, no adhesive there. Takes a little practice, but once you get it down. So that completely hides that little Valentine sentiment there. So it'll be a peekaboo card once they open it too. Okay, so quickly, let me move this out of the way and bring in the Big Shot. So we're going to do a couple things with the Big Shot. I have a piece of Real Red. I have a piece of, where is she? Whisper White scrap. And here they are. I have my cutting pads. I'm not sure about you guys. This is maybe something that you do or don't do. But I have found that when I cut things with the Whisper White, I have a set of cutting pads just for the Whisper White. I don't know if anybody else does that or not, but a lot of times I'll find that even though you can clean these off and wipe them off with like a baby wipe or rinse them under water to get some of the paper out, sometimes with the Whisper White things still transfer. So I have one pack that I specifically keep in a package and I only use them for Whisper White, but just wondering if it's just me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead really quickly and we're going to run this little trio of hearts. Let me just put this right up here a little bit. We're going to run that through the Big Shot. So between 2 cutting pads, crank it through. Okay. So now we have our little heart right there. Okay. And now we're going to do our Whisper White piece. So I'm not going to torture you with making you watch me do this, but I'll go ahead and grab this one for now. So this is our little envelope piece. We're going to do the same thing again. Just put that between 2 cutting pads. And once again, run it through the Big Shot. Okay, get this out. Get this out of the way. All right, so one thing I will tell you, we have this, back to our card, is the first time I folded these, I didn't really use the bone folder, but you really need to. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend it all on the score lines. And then just take your bone folder and just give it a really good press, because otherwise your envelope doesn't stay sealed quite as nicely. And then what you can do is just use a glue dot. Just put one right there. You can put one on the inside of this if you want to keep it down, but I wouldn't necessarily put a third one on there. So I just have one on this flap and then one on the bottom flap. So I'll put the second one and then the bottom. Okay. Before we put our little hearts there, I have one other little sentiment that I wanted to stamp. You could write "Love you lots," "Sent with love." There are a lot of really tiny, there's a teeny tiny note. So you could write whatever it is you want on this, but these little tiny ones fit really cute. Okay, so I'm going to put this on. Okay. And we're going to stamp this right here in the top. Make sure it's facing the right direction. Okay, pardon my head. Very cute. Okay, let me move this out of the way so I don't ruin my card. Move this out of the way. Here are our little hearts. And we could just put this right across the front. That'll be really fun. And same thing again. I think I'm going to just use a glue dot. Mini glue dot. Stampin' Up! Sells these. I ran out not so long ago and learned a very hard lesson that you need to have much more than you think you need. Have plenty of snail. Not enough glue dots though. Excuse me. And then the one final thing I'm going to do is I am going to pop this up on a dimensional. If you want to fold your little envelope there and then they could pop it up and see the "Love you lots," your choice. Where are my dimensionals? Here they are. All right, one dimensional on the back. Pardon my cough. Still getting over tonsillitis. Been a fun time in this household. We're not even all the way into winter yet. Okay, so there you go. Really, really great. Super easy. You can change it up to be whatever you would like it to be. All these different cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you appreciate the effort that I tried to put into this to make these unique. I thought they were so much fun, and I know my little friends are really going to appreciate all of them. Again, if you have any questions or comments, you can always leave a comment on this video on YouTube. You can hit me up in an email at rachthestamper@gmail.com, and you can get all of these supplies and more in my online store 24/7, rachthestamper.stampinup.net. Thanks for taking time to watch, and I hope you have a great day.